Thanks for sharing too with CNN News. I'm Chuck Fundo, and I am bringing stupidity to another level. A much, much higher level. The second clip in the video involves a scene where Nikoko starts spraying people's hair and chasing them down. She had 3 spray victims: Mankit, the elusive Philodonte, and Jackie Chan. All 3 were victims of the fight or flight response. What is the fight or flight response, you ask? Well, it is a fundamental physiological response that forms the foundation of modern-day stress medicine, done by the sympathetic nerve system. The flight or fight response is our body's primitive, automatic, and inborn response that prepares the body to fight or flee from perceived attack, harm, or threat to survival. Originally discovered by the great Harvard physiologist Walter Cannon, this response is hardwired into our brains and represents a genetic wisdom designed to protect us from bodily harm. This response actually corresponds to an area of the brain called the hypothalamus, which, when stimulated, initiates a sequence of nerve cell firing and chemical release that prepares our body for running or fighting. As you had seen, when our fight or flight response is activated, chemicals like adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol are released into our bloodstream. These patterns of nerve cell firing and chemicals released cause our bodies to undergo a series of very dramatic changes. Those changes include respiratory increase, blood is shunted away from our digestive tract and directed into our muscle and limbs, which require extra energy and fuel for running and fighting. Our pupils dilate.
My name is Nikoko. We're about to go beat her up.
Our awareness intensifies. Quicken. And our perception of pain diminishes. And lastly, our immune system mobilizes with increased activation. We become prepared physically and psychologically for fight or flight. We can scan and search our environment, look for enemies.
Since I got that moron, I am now going to get hurt.
By its very design, the fight or flight response leads us to fight or to flee, both creating immense amounts of muscle movements, physical exertion. This physical activity effectively metabolizes the stress hormones released as a result of the activation of our fight or flight response. Once the fighting is over and the threat has been eliminated, our body and mind return to a state of calm. In Mankit's case, he chose to flee while Philodonte chose to fight. In Jackie Chan's case, she has learned to control her impulses and got it over with. It would have been counterproductive if she ran, because she would have just been chased like Mankit, and it would have been pointless to fight back because Nikoko laughs when she is in pain. So by getting over it, she does not provoke Nikoko even more.
Shining on the ground, the air is cooler, and I feel like I just started uni, walking backwards to my van.
Are you hungry? Well, are you? Is your hunger making you do things a tad bit inappropriate? Well, come on down to McDonald's and fuel your mind, body, and soul.
I can feel the static.
My brain is satisfied.
Has broken heavens open.
So next, we will be examining the attack on Bobo. Poor Bobo was raised by sea monks, where she learned not to fight with others and to always appreciate the fish. She made a perfect target for Philodonte, Nikoko, and Mankit to attack. Innocently reading her book, she took quite a beating from a recycled bottle and a stolen cone. But nothing was as bad as what danger Jackie Chan posed when she threw something at Bobo's back. Sad, sad. Down the middle of your back is your spinal cord that is surrounded and protected by the bony vertebral column. It is connected to the brain and is about the diameter of a human finger. Surrounded by a clear fluid called cerebral spinal fluid, which acts as a cushion to protect the delicate nerve tissues against damage from banging against the inside of the vertebrae. The anatomy of the spinal cord itself consists of millions of nerve fibers, which transmit electrical information to form the limbs, trunk, and organs of the body, back to and from the brain. The brain and spinal cord are referred to as the central nervous system, whilst the nerve connecting the spinal cord to the body are referred to as the peripheral nervous system. Had Jackie Chan really damaged Bobo's spinal cord, she would have probably disabled Bobo in many ways. The degree of seriousness of a spinal cord injury is usually related to the place on the spinal cord where the injury occurs. So the higher up and back and spinal cord, the more damage you will suffer because everything below the injury will be affected. Paraplegia results from an injury to the middle of your spine column, and it renders the lower part of your body paralyzed. Quadriplegia results in total paralysis of your body and is caused by damage to the cervical portion of the spinal cord located near your neck. So kids, do not hurt yourself or other people, especially in the back, because you may permanently scar them for lives. If it comes to the worst of times and you need to protect yourself against an attack, educate yourself and make sure you hit places that won't accidentally kill them. Welcome back to CNN News. We're moving along to the kicking of Man Kid and the little game of My Horse. Everyone has seen videos of people kicking a guy's gonads for the sake of entertainment, but in what way does it look safe to do that? Gonadal hormones affect the nervous system in so many different ways. For example, estrogens and androgens have been reported to influence verbal fluency, performance on special tasks, verbal memory tests, and fine motor skills, etc., etc. Estrogens are also linked to symptoms of depression, treatment of depressive illness. Had Nikoko kicked My Kid's man pride any harder, she could have affected his hormones and behavior altogether. Often, we'll be turned away from a single slap, but depending on the person giving and receiving a slap, it might actually cause more harm than a punch. Had Nikoko and Filidante upped their little game a notch and started slapping each other on the head, it is more likely to affect the central nervous system, circulatory system, and structural system than any other strike. Just imagine yourself slapping someone's head with no hesitation. Upon contact, it will overload all the nerves on the face, and the eyes will involuntarily close as the head snaps back at a 45-degree angle. This is the central nervous system's disruption, because not only is the brain being overloaded by the sting of the slap, but the brain and ocular nerves are also being violently smashed into and towards the side of the skull. I just received word that another commercial break is about to begin. So remember, kids, slapping each other can actually be used as a lethal weapon.
Hey you, tired of being weak? Sick of not being able to open the door? Well, I got news for you. The Iron 4 Advanced Electrolyte System made by Powerade. There are 4 essential ingredients: sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. The Iron 4 Advanced Electrolyte System helps replenish 4 electrolytes lost in sweat. And Powerade is formulated with a 6% carbohydrate solution and vitamins B3, B6, and B12 to help provide energy to working muscles. This was me before I drank the Iron 4 Advanced Electrolyte System Powerade with sodium, potassium, magnesium, and whatever. And this was me after. Now I can open doors. Powerade, quench your thirst.
Amazing.